What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, November 15th, 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes, 30 Under 30, a.k.a. the future class of video games, a.k.a. the OK Beast Blessing, Adioye Jr.
What's up, Greg? How'd you enjoy your donut this morning?
It was fantastic.
Hell yeah.
You came through with that was a nice pumpkin donut, a pumpkin spice donut there.
Donut, yeah,
very appreciative of it. Of course, then we have a whole bunch of G4 former people in the office, and there's a whole bunch of donuts out there as well.
Yeah, I brought in the 24-pack of donut holes this time.
Love it.
And I was met with donuts already here, and I was like, well, this is a waste.
No, they're going to get eaten. I had your donut that I paid for, and then I had the free donut from the XG4 folks.
Because there's like multiple dozens of donuts out there.
And I'm going to eat them all.
I just put my 24-pack of donut holes next to it. And like, no offense to Krispy Kreme. I love Krispy Kreme, but like, I don't know about Krispy Kreme donut holes are stacking up against
you're saying,
the variety
You're
pack.
saying there's a follow-up to Greg giving you the crisp $20 bill.
Correct.
So you're
and you've tabulated how many more donuts I do?
I did do the math. So you gave me, of course, a crisp $20 bill.
I sure did.
When I ordered it,
where that came from, too.
I looked at the receipt, and it said it cost $2.19. And I did the mental math, and I believe that means after this one, I owe you 8 more donuts.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that. A baker's dozen.
Are you gonna tap out? Do you think by donut number 4, you're gonna be like, actually, I'm tired of donuts?
No.
You don't think so?
What? No. What? You eat the Krispy Kreme every day.
Yeah, but
and I said once a week. I didn't say.
I'm young, limber, and I run on sugar. I feel like
if you suddenly brought me 8 donuts in a row, you're like, and I'm done. Like, and I mean, on one day, and that would be a violation of the deal we've already struck up. We said once a week. I gave you the 20, and I said once a week.
Did we say once a week?
We did say once a week.
Oh, I forgot about the once a week part. Okay,
there you go.
I was gonna go like, what if I can knock this out in like a week and a half?
No. We're
go to Krispy Kreme every single day, tire you out.
Long play this, brother. Don't worry about that. You know
Maybe I'll do a recurring calendar thing. That's what I'm gonna do. What day do you feel like is a donut day for you? I like the days that we're on KFGD together.
Personally, I like a surprise, which I know puts more work on you because then you need to remember. But I'm also never going to be offended if you slip a week.
Okay.
That's not going to be a thing. It's always more of, oh, cool, the donut. That's exciting. You know, that's refreshing. I like that.
I think that, the thing that you're relying on right now is the idea that I'm going to want to go to Krispy Kreme enough to then, of course, get you a donut. Yeah. I feel like this is a new thing for me. Me going to Krispy Kreme is a very new thing to me. Sure. Of course, I used to go to McDonald's.
You look at the McDonald's line, and if the McDonald's line is too long, you go to Krispy Kreme. That's right,
yeah, exactly. That's when I go to Krispy Kreme.
Here's the pivot we could do. Is that if you're at McDonald's, I want to take an Egg McMuffin. Don't worry about that. And Egg McMuffins, they're more than $2.19, I'll tell you right now.
Oh, I'll do that.
Okay, yeah. But then you could also, if you want to factor in, I'm never going to say no to a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about the $20 once a week donut. If you want to change it over to $20 the coffee and you buy me a coffee every day, I'm fine.
Except the 7-Eleven coffee. We don't give them 7-Eleven coffee.
7-Eleven coffee, I don't mind. This is Kind of Funny coffee from the Keurig machine that Roger says he cleaned, but the descaler solution's right next to it still unclean. It's terrible. Like, it's awful. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might have to buy a real coffee pot and just have it there. I might have to just throw that Keurig away and get a new Keurig. I don't know. Because Cool Greg bought a bunch of pods. Nick is over there. He can't hear me, but he's.
Have you thought about getting into tea?
I'm not getting into tea.
Tea is
Stop
great.
trying to push the tea agenda.
I had tea when I first woke up this morning. It was fantastic. It's refreshing.
You have too many British friends.
I don't need to be refreshed.
What do you
I
mean,
need the caffeine injected into these veins. All right, you understand? Do you understand? I'm already planning what I'm doing on the Kind of Funny podcast today, and it's going to be a scene, brother. All right? It's going to be a scene. The Kind of Funny podcast is going to open in a way you've never seen before, ladies and gentlemen. In a way few people have ever seen.
Why is there a third chair here?
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a third chair here, of course, because guess what? A whole bunch of our friends used to work at G4, and then G4 was unceremoniously closed. So, thanks to the power of Twitter, when we were all saying, oh, man, that sucks, well wishes, yada, yada, one of the Kind of Funny best friends was like, well, you guys got a new studio. You should probably just invite them up to have a reunion show. And we said, you know what? That's a great idea. And so behind the scenes, Tim, Joey have been working with Danny Ree and a whole bunch of other G4 people to have them come today and have a celebratory, hey, let's say goodbye. Let's just say goodbye the right way. Let's have a nice little thing and reflect on the cool thing that was G4 for the past year. And so that's happening as the stream right after us. Of course, you can watch live, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. You can watch it later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. But blessing, we figured, with all these people in the office, all these talented people who know how to talk about games, we would be foolish not to put them on here with us. Yeah. So, not every story, but kind of every story, we're going to cycle in who comes. We're going to have a whole bunch of different hosts come on through and sit down and have fun with us because, of course, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show. You can write in at kindafunny.com/KFG completely free. And if you say, what a great deal, let me tell you about another great deal. Patreon.com/kindafunny. On Patreon.com/kindafunny, of course, you can toss us a few bucks, support the dream, and get each and every episode of Games Daily ad-free. Get to watch us record the Gamescast, PS I Love You, Xcast, the list goes on live. And of course, since it's now what we're doing with the new spare bedroom, get all the Kinda Funny stuff too. You could watch me go off on the Kinda Funny podcast this afternoon for free without any ads as well, but I digress.
What are you planning? What do you mean go off? What are you gonna do this afternoon?
Oh, you'll all see.
God.
Here's the tease.
This sounds like a threat.
Here's the tease. I'm gonna open with an apology, and then it's off to the races. Blessings. Then it's off to the races. Blessing. Anything can happen. Patreon.com/kindafunny. Watch me record that show today, and of course get a bevy of bonus episodes. That's right, 38 episodes of exclusive monthly content on Patreon.com/kindafunny, along with shirts, decals, all sorts of stuff up there you can get. But if you got no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. Of course, you can watch us record the show, like I said, twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, youtube.com/kindafunnygames. If you're watching live, you have a special job. Go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up. For everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, where the archive posts, and of course, listening on podcast services around the globe. Housekeeping, of course, continue to use our Epic creator code Kinda Funny when you're buying anything on the Epic Game Store or when you're buying V-Bucks in Fortnite or something in Rumbleverse. A new Kinda Funny Gamescast is up right now, and it's our live reactions and predictions to the Game Award nominees. That's up on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and podcast services around the globe. Our stream after this, like I said, is going to be, of course, the G4 reunion. Everybody hanging out, talking about their time there and having a great time. But it's also benefiting Rise Against the Disorder. You can donate at bit.ly/xplayisrad. That's all one word. xplayisrad, all lowercase. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Morgan Lorraine, Fargo Brady, Christopher Rodriguez, the Kinda Funny Destiny 2 PC Clan, Tall Tree 81, Joseph A. Carlson, One Up Pest Control, Carrie Palmer, Elliot, Brian Cheney, Trevor Starkey, Super Daddy Kyle, Undertopian, David Mintel, The Mind Freak, Eric Velasquez, Scotty Wyatt, Alex Greedle, Al Tribesman.
Wait, where?
He's the Predator. He's the Predator.
The Predator.
I don't do the Predator.
I usually don't do that one.
No, I don't do it. Jason L, James Davis, aka at James Davis Makes, Mick at Nanobiologist Abramson, Ryan T from Tennessee, Derek Gregg, and Donald Eccles. Today, we're brought to you by Rocket Money, Policy Genius, and Shopify, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 8 items on the Roper Report.
A biggest dozen.
Before we even give you the first story, I was going to say guest. Let's give you the first guest. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together at home and yell out your window for Danny Pena. Hello, Danny.
Hey.
You're making your return. Your return to Kinda Funny. Thank you so much,
angle.
sir. That's the jib
Look at
right there.
Barrett.
That's your money at work right there. Oh, and the smoke, too. And the smoke for Danny's return. Hello, Danny.
Hello.
How are you, sir? Good to see you. Thank you.
I love this.
Is it your first time here?
This studio, yes. Not
Hell yeah.
the other one. I went there, I believe, once to interview Greg.
Wasn't that cool?
It was good.
It was not this, though.
I think at least you guys have something, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like this mic is like so high.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of this.
There you go.
Just grab it. Just
Hey,
own it. Don't
love it,
worry.
live.
Own it. Yeah, do this. You're fine. Get in there.
1 2.
And I understand why you want to be used to the mic. You don't podcast that much.
Nah, like 21 years now?
Yeah, Podcaster Hall of Fame.
God damn.
Yeah. Actually, today, there's a tweet going around of me and Bill Gates, because today was the original Xbox launch.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about it, so. And I had hair during that time, you know?
You're
What's
big
up,
timing
so-
Bill Gates. I gotta
There
even
you
remember
go.
that. I
Yeah.
don't even remember that being a big
so
part
what's up?
of
Hey,
it.
first of all, thank you so much for inviting us here to be part of, special reunion later, and I can't wait.
Dude, it's our honor and pleasure. I'm glad we could help you out, of course. We got this space. Let's use it. Let's do some cool stuff.
Let's do it.
There it
oh, wow.
is.
Look
Oh
at
my
this.
god.
There you go. Wow.
The hair changes your look dynamically.
Big time, right?
Oh my god.
Now, do you keep in touch with Bill? You talking to him often?
Oh, we talk all the time, man. We always texting you like, hey, what's up? What's going on with your life?
Let's talk, ladies and gentlemen, about the Game Awards 2022 nominations and how God of War is leading the pack with 10 award nods. This is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN.com. Jeff Keighley has announced every nominee for the Game Awards 2022, with God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring leading the way with 10 and 7 nominations, respectively. God of War Ragnarok's nominations include Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music, Best Audio Design, 2 in Best Performance, Best Action Adventure, and Innovation and Accessibility. Elden Ring saw a number of similar nominations, including Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music, Best Audio Design, and Best RPG. Last year's award saw It Takes Two take the Game of the Year award, while Deathloop won Best Game Direction, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy won Best Narrative, and Final Fantasy XIV Online won Best Ongoing Game. Danny,
Yes.
where are you in the war that is Elden Ring versus God of War?
We had this conversation last night.
Yeah. We had a lot of conversations about Game Awards last night.
I think, look, I love God of War, love Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring is going to win, in my opinion.
Good.
The reason is there's a lot of people that I know, they're not huge gamers, they're not fans of those type of games. They purchase Elden Ring, which is
Saying something.
yeah.
Yes.
That's powerful. And then look at the numbers of how the units, how many units that got sold and everything. So I think that game is going to win in my Game of the Year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Stray getting nominated for Game of the Year?
See, this is the conversation we had last night. I think that's good. First of all, and there was a lot of major press that also covered that game, which is hard to do for an indie game. And also, look how many cats that did like those videos online with the
Playing with the screen and looking
playing
into
the
it and
screen
being
and everything like that. That was really cool too to see. And I was pretty mad that the cat didn't get nominated for best performance. It should have been
Get the
nominated.
fuck out of here.
Yes. Why not? Why not? Why not?
I mean, why?
That could have been historic. First. Wait, look, I have people here laughing in the background. What? Why not?
But it wasn't a real cat, right? I mean, I guess
They
they
used a real
mocapped
cat
a little bit,
No,
but it's
they
not
used
like the cat acted.
they used a real cat for this.
Here's the thing. You made this argument to me last night to where when you first said it, I was like, oh, you're crazy. You're mad. Like, there's no way
No.
the cat should be nominated. But when you went into it of like, nah, like they for real went in and mocap this cat. And like,
Yes.
and when you look at that cat in Stray, like the cat is the main thing I actually really dug about that game, right? Like I know we have conflicting views here at Kinda Funny about like whether Stray is great, whether Stray is fine, yada yada yada. I think the one thing that we all agree on, and the one thing that everybody agrees on in regards to Stray, is the fact that like
Best cat simulator.
That's the best cat simulator
Best cat
you can play.
simulator
Like
ever
that cat
existed.
moves like a cat. That cat is a cat-ass cat. Like that's one of the best cats in a video game. So I can kind of understand the argument for best performance.
I'm all
there. I
about
wouldn't
game
vote for it.
changers. I'm
but-
all about game changer, and I feel like that game was a game changer, especially for an indie game. And I'm glad it's nominated for Game of the Year.
Sure.
Yeah, and give props to the cat, man. Come on. You know, I love cats. Come on, we had dogs barking on the screen because of that cat. Come on, best performance. Let's go.
Again, most realistic cat I've ever seen. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. I'm
And
not gonna argue.
also, content creator of the year.
Talk to me a bit about that. I saw you tweet about this, of course.
I'm not too thrilled about it.
Why?
There was a lot of content creators that made huge moves this year, and a game changer again. They didn't get recognized. If it's streamer of the year, I get it. That's totally different conversation. But I don't know. I feel like it was a lot of people that didn't get nominated at all. No props at all. So, like for example, Khalif Adams. I feel like he did something amazing with the Spawnies.
Spawnies, man.
Right?
It's coming up again.
Yeah.
We love Spawn around here.
Also, I feel like Bless, you had a lot of amazing things that you done this year too. I feel like that was a game changer too. And there was a lot of people, man, that deserve. Aaron, Ashley Simon, that's another person too. Like I could come up with tons of names. And I know there was another streamer too. His name is starts with a K.
Carl Jacobs.
Game changer.
Of course.
Didn't get nominated.
No, he
either.
got nominated.
Oh, no. it was
Wait,
not-
wait, not him. It was somebody else. I know. Shout out to Black Okage, Corey. He mentioned him too. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he deserved to get nominated too, man. So they need to change it up, man. And
It's one of those.
feel
I think this is the thing when they moved away from trending gamer, right? And when they moved away from trending gamer, they tried to hone it in more with content creator, but then content creator is still so broad as well.
But here's the thing: like, is it based on numbers?
Great question.
Is it based on how they're changing the industry? Like, I need more more information about that.
One of the things we talked about last night too was like I could see them going into the awards and shaking things up in terms of the categories, because I think when you look at best content creator, right, you got folks like Carl Jacobs is a huge streamer, you got Ludwig who's a huge streamer, you got Nibel, right, who does or did social content, right, and like. Well, and I've still not figured out whether it's totally fan voted or what percentage is fan voted. But for the fan voting aspect of it, right, like putting Nibel up against any of those folks, right, I don't think there's a prayer necessarily of Nibel winning. And of course, there's exceptions, right? Like Greg Miller won Trending Gamer, and like Greg Miller, I would argue more popular than Nibel, at least in that instance, right? But like Greg versus a lot of the big streamers at the time, right? You're able to rally your audience to actually make that happen for you in a way that, like, I don't think a Nibel would be able to.
He turned off his Twitter, right? Like, that's the other
now,
thing.
Is he going to show up? That's the question I want to know. Like, is he going to show up at the
Unmasking
awards
on
and be
stage.
like,
What a
this is
story
me?
that would be.
It's Kojima.
There's no Mike. He's been Nibel this whole time.
Nah.
But yeah, like I think to that point, like I think the Nibel versus Carl versus Ludwig doesn't make as much sense in my mind as opposed to like if you had a best streamer category and maybe a best media personality or best journalist category.
Well, then you're starting to do, exactly, hone it down, right? And then you can have the category that is game changers. People who have done it, or at least we go through and we define what these categories actually mean and shake it out to be, right?
Look, man, I feel like us, people of color, we have to like work 10 times harder just to get the attention, and we need help here, man. Give us some props, That's all. That's the part I was just not mad, but more annoyed about it. But look, I'm excited to go and support the Game Awards because I feel like that's an event for us to celebrate all the wins, man, for that we've done in the industry overall. It doesn't matter if you're a content creator or what, Yeah.
In the same vein of categories too, like one of the conversations we had again last night was you brought up something that I thought was fascinating, right? You said, does Game of the Year require you to get 9s and 10s? Like, is that what Game of the Year is? And both me and Rihanna looked at each other like, like Game of the Year, we're talking about the best games, but then we got into it of like
because we started a conversation about Stray.
Yeah, because we were talking about Stray, and I was like, Stray is not the best game this year, right? It's not one of the best. It's like it's a popular game and it's a revered game. It's a game that a lot of people love, but that then got into the back and forth of like, would it do the Game Awards better to instead of doing Game of the Year to do best game and then maybe do a trending Game of the Year, which is more about this is the impact that this game had. Because like you look at the Oscars, and you look at plenty of other award shows in different mediums, and it's not. They don't do movie of the year at the Oscars. They don't do. I think they might do album of the year at the VMAs. So maybe I might be wrong about that. But I think a lot of the time it is, best picture, best rap album, best album, right? And I think there could be room for more clarity and also to give out more awards if you could separate it into, all right, this is for the best game, right? The game that most critically acclaimed, the game that maybe pushed the most in the medium versus this is the game that had impact. This is the game that everybody showed up to and played and like shifted things culturally, right? Because in the same argument that you're making about Stray, in terms of Stray brought a lot to the table and had mainstream attention, I also brought up Wordle. Like, why isn't Wordle nominated?
That's a great point.
That's a great point. Yeah. We had that conversation. I'm like, you know what? I forgot about that too, man. But look, I had a lot of friends that are not gamers at all, and they bought a PlayStation 5 and bought Stray. That's huge to me.
For sure.
Huge game changer, so.
We're talking about all the people that were celebrating in that, but in the more line with the content creator, Cozy Bear writes in and says, with the Game Award nominees out in the wild, I'm curious, which 2022 games do you feel got snubbed the most? I might sound crazy making this statement, blessing you off to say, but personally, I think it's deeply unfortunate that Sonic Frontiers didn't qualify for best score in music.
I think when it comes to the best score, Sonic Frontiers had an amazing soundtrack. Ninja Turtles also. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Jeff, you could have Wu-Tang Clan performing that track.
Was so sick.
I like
Ninja
that
Turtles.
You pointed Jeff like it's his fault. Like, we are one of the voting outlets.
I know,
we all voted.
We all voted.
We can all go to that webpage and yell, like, here's my ballot. Where was yours?
Honestly, that could have been amazing having hip-hop legends performing on the Game Awards, but just saying. Call to the Lamp, I feel like should have gotten more props.
Thank you.
Right? Yes. I'm trying to think of any other games.
Oh, these guys are flipping out there at the end when stuff started popping up and they weren't getting the games they wanted. Bless, what were one of the ones you had?
Can I have an opposite of a snub? A game that like got way more representation than I would have thought.
Don't say it, Bless.
Plague Tale in Requiem, not the one. What was the other one? I guess Stray.
Stray was the other one.
And Stray also. But like Plague Tale, I was shocked to see how often Plague Tale was included. Not to take shots at Plague Tale, right? But I think when I think about video games this year, I think of a wide swath of indie games. I was shocked to not see Vampire Survivors anywhere. I was shocked.
Vampire Survivors.
Vampire Survivors
should have been
Game of the Year.
Yeah.
That should have been in there somewhere, right? What was it, Tinykin? I would have loved to see somewhere. And I know when we're talking about the indie space, then like that, now we're getting into competition in terms of, all right, what did Tinykin bring to the table versus Cult of the Lamb versus Sifu versus Neon White? And you're talking about a lot of games, and not everybody's going to get included. But I would have loved to see Tinykin for something, right? Even something like best art direction, I think it could have qualified for.
Okay, fair enough. Danny, thank you for coming on here.
No problem, man.
What are you doing in the stream? What are you doing on the stream here in 30 minutes, 40 minutes?
We're going to be talking about a lot of cool stories about, X-Play. And, just stay tuned. We have a lot of surprises.
Stay tuned, everybody.
Stay tuned.
Danny, thank you so much for coming through.
Let's go.
I'm now calling out Jirard. Is Jirard here? There he is. Get over. You can come any way you want. You didn't have to run around everything. And look at him. He's running, too. Jeez Louise. Well, you did it. I called you out. Don't worry. Jirard The Completionist, ladies and gentlemen. Joining us for story number 2, the Somerville Review Roundup. Currently, it has on Metacritic a 75. OpenCritic 74. Ryan McCaffrey at IGN gave it a 7 out of 10 and said, Somerville follows its own unique path within the puzzle adventure genre. The path isn't always a smooth one, with camera annoyances and physic wonkiness occasionally serving as a pebble in your shoe while solving its series of pleasantly challenging puzzles. And the story is more strange for the sake of being strange than it is thought-provoking. But thanks to its strong visual storytelling techniques and the way the opening minutes inspire an irresistible desire to find out what happened to this man and whether or not he'll ever find his family, Somerville is nevertheless a very good tour through an exceptionally bleak scenario, all which is successfully conveyed without a single line of dialogue. Over at Game Informer, Kyle Hilliard gave it an 8 out of 10. Somerville is held back by technical shortcomings, but is full of impressive moments worth experiencing with the lights turned low and your headphones up high. The father's adventures lingers in my mind as I reflect on what happened, and those memories do ultimately outweigh the technical shortcomings. I hope time will provide improvements to bring the game to where it deserves to be, which is high in the sky alongside the ships of the invading forces. And then, Kinda Funny, blessing Eddie Oye Jr. gave it a 4 out of 5. We have the TikTok. Let's play it, Barrett.
Somerville is the new game from Jumpship, a brand new studio formed by folks behind Inside and Limbo. Upon starting Somerville, it's evident that the same talent is there. Incredible visuals accompanied by one of the coolest openings to a video game in recent memory set the tone for something special. And while the energy and vibe
buffering.
And that's all we have because the internet is currently out and we're dealing with technical difficulties. I thought the entire video would play, but there you go.
Fair enough.
I can read my script. I can find my script and read it.
Yeah,
read it. Okay, now the internet.
You got the internet. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Jirard, have you touched Somerville yet?
I have not touched it yet.
Have these reviews pushed you in one direction or the other?
No, I would definitely still check it out.
Okay,
I feel like, I'm that kind of guy that, considering the review nightmare that was Sonic Frontiers last week.
Oh, yeah.
I am willing to try.
Sonic Frontiers is hard to me. Like,
Yes.
where I'm like, you know what? I can review anything. if I can play 20-something hours of Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah. Nothing can deter me until I get to the end. The end, I have to get to the end just to say, okay, now I can form my
I've done
opinion.
this and I've done
Yes.
this. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as Jirard The Completionist, you
Yes.
definitely made it through a lot
That
of things.
is my job, so.
I'm the opposite, where I started Somerville and I played 5 chapters and I'm like, nah, I'm good. And I walked away. I was like, just not, it doesn't have the juice
You're
that
a busy
Limbo
guy,
Inside
though.
did.
You're a busy guy.
There's a lot of games to play, and then there's that kid to keep alive. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So yeah, that
you
is
got to be a
the thing.
responsible human being and prioritize your time.
But in this time, I mean, that's how it is right now with games, though, right? There's
Yeah.
so many things out to play demanding your attention that, yeah, for me, I think I'm more in line with the Ryan McCaffrey, right? Of like the 7 out of 10. It's I get it, and I
Yeah.
can see where I could keep playing it, but I was just like, I didn't think the story was compelling enough to actually engage me and go. I think it starts super strong, Bless. I think the opening is awesome.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at with it too. Where the opening, I remember I texted you guys and I was like, "Y'all, you might have to play this for Game of the Year," because I think Somerville opens so strong, but then the further it goes on, the more it struggles with multiple things. They call out in I think maybe both of these reviews the technical shortcomings, and I was flabbergasted as I was playing because I was like, is my PC just busted? Like, I'm playing on a pretty good PC. Why do I have these frame hitches happening every now and then, right? And then I came in, I played it to capture footage here for Roger for him to edit the review, and I got that here too. And I was like, oh no, the game is just badly optimized, right? And that was even after I talked to both Barrett and I think Andy about trying the game on Steam Deck and the game just not running on Steam Deck, right? Which is,
Ooh.
a lot of games don't run on Steam Deck, right? That's not necessarily a mark against it,
yeah,
but
right.
I think that is additive to the idea of, oh yeah, this didn't run on my PC, not running on Steam Deck, not running on another PC. Like, I don't know how it runs on Xbox, but those technical shortcomings are there, let alone other things like camera and like weird things where I'm walking through of course, in this game, one of the abilities you have is like to change states of matter. I'm like walking through an area, melting all the walls around me, and the camera is caught inside one of the walls. I'm not seeing my character for like 8 seconds before the camera finally clips through and gets back to me. Stuff like that, I think, pairs back the experience. The transition from 2D to 3D, because of course, again, Somerville, developed by Jumpship. Jumpship, a studio created by people who formerly worked at, I forget the name of the studio. Playdead, yeah, who did Inside and Limbo. Inside Limbo, very excellent, I would even say possibly perfect 2D puzzle platformers.
I would agree, yeah.
Especially when you're talking about just the intricacy of the animation and how there's an animation for legitimately every single thing you're doing, right? If there's a puzzle in that game, there's an animation that is unique to it, and it is so smooth and it is so crisp. Somerville, I think, tries to go for some of that, but falls flat completely, especially when you're talking about the transition to the 3D environment and how I'm like, cool, I want to go over here, and I'm just walking into a wall, or like, let me walk between this crevice or whatever, and the way that my arm is like, my arm wants to do the thing where it like touches the like the wall or whatever as I'm passing through it, but I can see it then like being shaky and like wigging out, and I'm like, oh, that's not the polish that I'm used to from these from these guys.
And that was the thing, right, about like comparing it to Inside and Limbo. You're talking about the 2D to 3D transition, which we haven't talked really about. So if you're not familiar with what Somerville is, I mean, you can imagine the look of a Limbo or that, right? But you have the deep environments that you can walk back into and do things. And for me, starting off, I wasn't frustrated, but it was like, oh, this is just wasted space. Because I'm in it and I'm trying to figure out what they want me to do. All right, I'm learning the mechanics. I have this new ability, like, again, to shift matter and do stuff. No spoilers. And as I walk further back, I'm like, oh, well, is it supposed to go? Oh, no. Like, this is 3D and deep for 3D and deep sake. Like, it isn't adding anything to it. It's actually making it feel more like a video game and more like, oh, I just wasted a bunch of time walking all the way back to this, wooden fence thinking that's how I could try to get to the house when it wasn't that at all. So I come all the way back, and then the solutions here is I'm trying to learn the rules and mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
So is this a situation where the technology itself is really hindering the experience, or is it just like, stopping you from enjoying the game, or is it like mechanically speaking something you don't necessarily vibe with?
I think it's the mechanics that I didn't vibe with.
Yeah.
I think because the technology is more like, oh, it's deep and it's there, but it's deep in there to be there. So what's the point of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going back to do that. Where once I figure out, oh, this is what you want, this is how you want me to go through and do it, and figure out how to use my gun arm and all these different things. Like, okay, cool, I can figure it that way. But in general, I got to a very specific puzzle where I was like, okay, you want me to take B and connect it to A, but it's connected to C, and I did it, and the thing did it, and then I did my thing, and it was like, okay, you want me to do something else here, and at this point, I'm just not enjoying the game enough to go any further with it, and I stopped.
Yeah, for me, it's one that I think could have used a bit more time for them to iron things out. One, the technical shortcomings, but then also some of the puzzle mechanics and like the smoothness of how they work, and even some of the design around the puzzles. Like, I love most of the puzzles. I actually do genuinely love in this game, and I like puzzle games a lot. I really love Inside for the puzzles. I think there's a lot of the quality there, but then there's some puzzles where I think the A to B to C of how you solve don't line up in a way that I think you would do to create natural puzzle design. Like, I think of when you talk to Miyamoto about making Super Mario Brothers, right? And it is, hey, yeah, we put this Koopa here to teach you to jump. We put this box here to so you hit it, and like there's a natural progression of things and a natural progression of how you teach the player things. There's one puzzle early on in the game that I got to, and once I was struggling with it for maybe like 8 minutes or so, and once I figured it out, I was like, you never taught me that. Like, you never taught me this specific thing that is key to solving this puzzle.
It wasn't the aha moment.
Yeah.
And that's to get to the puzzle where I was like, where I'm like, oh, okay, I'd had enough of those where I figured it out in spite of itself. Like, I figured out in spite of how the game was trying to teach me. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's something hard about a game, right? Is that it's got to teach you everything it's all about within a few moments. And if you can't pick it up and remember it and run with it, then, that sucks that you didn't, like, learn that mechanic until you had to, and even at that, it's like you're lost at that point.
Yeah, and that said, right, like, that was for me a handful of puzzles in a game that has a lot of puzzles that did give me that feeling where I'm like, okay, this is bringing the stuff, and a game that I would say has visuals that are above and beyond in a lot of places where I'm like, this looks incredible. Like, I can't believe they're pulling off a lot of what's going on in this art style, and even like the stuff going on in the story, I thought was fantastic up until the end where I was like, ooh. All right, I did not like the ending.
You gotta tell me afterwards.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one of those ones where it's gonna be hard to tell you because it's an ending that's just chaotic, and I think they go for the idea of, all right, Limbo and Inside, people fucking love the endings of that game, right? And Inside, we're not gonna talk about the Inside ending, but it's so straightforward and shocking, and there's meaning that you can pull from it, but like
Sure.
there's you can interpret it kind of how you want to, but there is meaning you can pull from it.
Yeah.
Whereas this ending, I get there and I'm like, what is this? Like, it's chaos. It is them trying to go for something, but I think them almost trying too hard and not knowing where they wanted to take the story, which is unfortunate because I think the build up onto that point is absolutely excellent in terms of the world building and the story and the characters.
Well, guess what? You're going to get more from Jumpship. Number 3 on the Roper Report. Somerville developer Jumpship has already been acquired. This is Chris Scullion over at VGC. Thunderful has announced it will be acquiring Jumpship, the developer responsible for the sci-fi survival story Somerville. The Swedish group, which consists of a number of companies that develop, publish, and invest in games, says the deal is expected to be completed today for an undisclosed fee. Today also marks the release of Somerville, which is Jumpship's debut title. As part of the announcement, Thunderful stated that Jumpship will, quote, retain creative autonomy as it continues to create top-class story-driven narrative games, end quote. Jumpship was founded in 2017 when Playdead co-founder Dino Patti, who had previously produced Limbo and Inside, teamed with movie animator Chris Olsen to work on Somerville. That's how fast it can happen.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting acquired out there left and right.
Oh
Gerard.
yeah, everyone's trying to make that money.
Exactly. That the money.
The money.
Get that money.
Yeah,
Money.
exactly.
And good for them, because I hope this leads to them, one, of course, being able to make their next game, but maybe even being able to make it with a bit more protection so that they're able to take their time and
Sure.
like not feel like, and not that they felt like they had to rush this out, but if that is how they felt, right, not feel like they have to rush
Sure,
out
not have
their,
that pressure.
their
Just
next
go
game.
be creators. And on top of that
Exactly.
too, like this is the whole thing of it. It's always hard to explain and stress and not sound insulting, right? But it doesn't matter how talented the people are who spin off to start a new studio are. You're still starting a new studio. You're still getting a new team. You're still coming up with a new pipeline workflow.
It's building blocks, workflow, personnel, working together. Especially 2017. Thinking about how long it took the game, right? 5 years roughly.
Yeah.
Like add COVID in the mix.
Big pandemic on top of
Yeah.
that. Sure.
Yeah, production
Yeah.
changes everything.
And so I think, again, that's what's exciting about Jumpship is that even though, okay, cool, Somerville didn't connect for me, still totally stoked for what their next thing is. Another
100%.
narrative game like in line with what their lineage is. Yeah, I want to know all about that, and I want them to have the time, resources, and money.
Yeah, money. And
Money.
Thunderful's got plenty of it too. And,
Yeah.
and they're, in my opinion, Thunderful, publishes and produces some pretty good games.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good call for them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Before we move on, of course, like I got to build this stock, and I specifically wanted Jirard for this group of stories where I talk about Somerville, specifically because I know you're a big indie game person, and you have Indie Land.
Yeah, I just recovering from it. I got a Shovel Knight tattoo because we hit 100K.
Wow.
It's still healing.
And you're going to peel it off right now.
Yeah. No, my voice is shot after streaming for 60 hours straight.
That'll do it.
My body is half hot sauce of Da Bomb and no hair, so it's been exhausting 72 hours. But yeah, I played a lot of indie games.
If somebody wants to either check it out or support, where can they go for that? And then also, what's one game from Indie Land that you want to shout out?
Sure, yeah. So if you want to support the Open Hand Foundation in our charity event, I believe, I don't know the URL, but there's a Tiltify link that I've tweeted like 1 million times on Twitter. So go to my Twitter, you'll see it. The next 30 days, you can still donate to the Alzheimer's Association group that we had created called the Open Hand Foundation. And one indie game that I feel kind of selfish saying it because I actually debuted that I'm producing the game. So it's a really fun thing. It's called Gestalt, Salt, and Cinder. And it's a steampunk Metroidvania that's being produced by myself, Jesse Cox, and Dodger. And we're working with Mechanalist Games and Tom over there to make this thing come to life.
That's
and
awesome.
It looks awesome. Wishlist it, please. It's phenomenal. If you like Symphony of the Night, if you like Metroidvanias, this thing's going to be crazy good.
Fuck yeah, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Real exciting stuff.
Go make the money.
Gotta make that money.
Now, speaking of that money, Greg Way, let's talk about patreon.com/kindafunny. Over on patreon.com/kindafunny, you can give us your money. And of course, you can get each and every episode of Games Daily ad-free. You could watch us record the other podcasts live and ad-free. You can get 38 episodes of bonus exclusive monthly content, all on patreon.com/kindafunny. But guess what, Jack? You're not on patreon.com/kindafunny. So here's a word from our sponsor.
Shout out to Rocket Money for sponsoring this episode. We all love gobbling up content and we have an understanding of what subscriptions we use, right? Or do we? Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions when the actual total is closer to $200 plus. That's right, you could be wasting hundreds of dollars each month on subscriptions you don't even know about. There's this app that we love using that takes care of that for us, and it's called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. The app shows all your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't know you were paying for. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now at rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. Shout out to Shopify for sponsoring this episode. We love Shopify here at Kinda Funny because we use it to run our very own kindafunny.com/store. Shopify makes it simple to sell to anyone from anywhere. Start selling with Shopify and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of your favorite businesses worldwide. With Shopify, you'll create an online store in your vibe, discover new customers, and grow the following that keeps them coming back. Shopify has all the sales channels sorted so your business keeps growing, from an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform, even across social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And thanks to 24/7 support and free libraries full of educational content, Shopify's got you every step of the way. It's how every minute new sellers around the world make their first sale with Shopify. And you will too. When you're ready to launch your thing into the spotlight, do it with Shopify, the commerce platform backing millions of businesses down the street and around the globe. Go on, try Shopify for free and start selling anywhere. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/kfgames, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/kfgames to start selling online today. Shopify.com/kfgames. Shout out to Policy Genius for sponsoring this episode. Life insurance is the type of thing you never hope you need, but the reality is mortgage payments, childcare, and other expenses don't disappear when you're gone. And since life insurance typically gets more expensive as we age, now's the time to buy. Policy Genius gives you a smarter way to find and buy the right coverage for you and your family. Their technology makes it easy to compare life insurance quotes from top companies like AIG and Prudential in just a few clicks to find your lowest price. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $17 per month for $500,000 of coverage. And Policy Genius has licensed agents who can help you find options that offer coverage in as little as a week and avoid unnecessary medical exams. They're not incentivized to recommend one insurer over another, so you can trust their guidance. There are no added fees, and your personal info is private. No wonder they have thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot. Your loved ones deserve a financial safety net. You deserve a smarter way to find and buy it. Head to policygenius.com or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com.
As I live and breathe, Emily Rose. Thank you for joining
I
us.
suddenly appeared.
I
Thank
know,
you for
right?
having
Yeah,
me.
it's a better transition than Jirard running all around trying to figure out his way to the set. How are you?
Great. I
Thank you.
mean, this is the best time of year for games.
Yeah.
So many good things to play.
Sure.
I'm knee deep in God of War. Like,
Hell yeah, you are.
Putting a.
Hell
I mean,
yeah, you are.
Happy to be unemployed because I have so much time to just take my time with that game, and I'm loving it. Every
That's
single
definitely
moment.
the way to do it. That's definitely the way to do it. Speaking of great games, though, let's talk about Pentiment, all right?
Yes.
Number 4 on the Roper Report, ladies and gentlemen, is the review roundup for Pentiment, currently sitting at an 87 on Metacritic. OpenCritic, also an 87. Over at IGN.com, Leanna Hafer said, it's a 10 out of 10. As an engrossing 15 to 20-hour adventure game, a chronicle of a small town and its people in turbulent times, a reverent celebration of the finer details of late medieval history, and a clever detective story in which straight answers are hard to come by, Pentiment is a clear champion. My gripes about it are all relatively minor, and I look forward to playing it at least once or twice more to explore roads not taken. It never suffers for its simplicity, lacking in combat or traditional puzzles, because of how effectively it tangled me up in the complexities of its gorgeously realized world and made me want to learn all I could about its people and its past. There isn't much more to say about Pentiment other than I can hardly recommend it highly enough. Over at PC Gamer, I got an 88 out of 100 from Joshua Wolins. A beautiful and beautifully written narrative game that makes masterful use of its early modern setting, one of Obsidian's finest. And then Jim Trinka at VG247 gave it a 5 out of 5 and said, it's one of the most engaging and accessible works of living history ever commissioned. And the fact that it exists at all, let alone as a major platform holder's first-party RPG heading into the Christmas season, is a miracle worthy of the saints. Play this game.
Holy cow.
Lord Almighty, right?
I mean, but like, this is Obsidian.
Right.
Are we surprised? No.
But it was that thing when they debuted Pentiment and you looked at it, I was like, oof, okay, this is a weird art style. And
Really?
it looks wordy, and I don't know if I need to do this. And I'm not saying there's been no fanfare for it, but it doesn't feel like, hey, we're Xbox and look at this game. You all need to play this game. This game's great.
Yeah, and I mean, Obsidian had Grounded just back in September, October too. So it's just like, here's another game you got right on top of it. And I mean, I remember when we saw this trailer when we were doing our live reaction to the Xbox showcase, and they showed the game until I don't think they showed Obsidian until the end, but they showed like the narrative. I'm a big point and click narrative. I'm the narrative game lady and RPG lady. So like as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, this looks great. And yes, it is early modern. It's not the Middle Ages. Shout out to Mikey Dowling at Obsidian for tweeting that out and correcting people.
Everybody.
But yeah, I mean, it just looks great. I'm so glad this game is getting 10s out of 10s. I mean, it's directed by Josh Sawyer, of course, who was also the project director and lead designer of New Vegas. So to me, as soon as I knew, like, we all knew he was working on something.
That's a pedigree.
Yeah, and you're just like, all right, this is going to be something special.
Yeah, this for sure landed on my must playlist after seeing these reviews, because I was at a similar place when it got announced where I was like, what is this game? Oh, I love Obsidian, but like this looks different. It looks smaller. It's being made by a small team. And I kind of immediately wrote it off for the reason of like, talking about it not having that fanfare of this is an Xbox game. We're owning this. You should all play this, right? I think when you pitch, it's a game that is very hard to pitch to the masses, right? The people that are watching the Xbox Game Showcase, because it is, all right, it's 2D, different art style, early modern.
Not a lot of puzzles, no combat.
Yeah, no combat. Like when you go through all the bullet points of Pentiment, for like the wide audience, it says, do not play me, essentially, right? But then like you get to the finish line, it's like, no, but like we actually killed this. Like this is actually a great game, and here are the reviews to back it up. Now it's like, okay, cool, now we got something special on our hands. And I've had enough people tweet at me and go like, oh no, this is the kind of detective shit that you're gonna like. And so after seeing that, I'm like, okay, I'm in.
It's a detective game. I'm a big, played all the Nancy Drews. We did a video about Nancy Drew games for X-Play. And so as soon as it was like, it's a detective story, I was like, yes, I'm in. And I think like, y'all were talking about the Game Awards earlier, I think there was a lot of people who were like, Elden Ring got nominated for Best Narrative. Like, if you're really someone who's going to be contentious about narrative and you want a good narrative game, play this game. This is the narrative game.
It seems like it, yeah. It reminds me a lot of the hype Disco Elysium had, where it was like, oh, this is a story to get lost in, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of reading, and it's going to be this, but you're going to love it.
And I really hope, I mean, that's what's so tricky about these games coming out like right after the Game Awards cut off. I'm really hoping people remember Pentiment for next year. I hope it doesn't get kind of forgotten in the weeds.
To his credit, Jeff is always great about giving out ballots and being like, hey, the cutoff was this, so that means that these games are actually eligible here, and don't forget about them, which I always think works. But
did you play Murder on Eridanos, the DLC for the Outer Worlds?
You told me to, and I'm not yet.
It's the best DLC
because I played
the Outer Worlds.
I played the one before that.
Something on Gorgon.
I played Pearl on Gorgon, and I was like, oh man. Usually I'm not a DLC person. Usually I skip over DLC. I played that, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty fun. I enjoy this. And then I didn't hear anybody talk about Murder on Eridanos, and so I was like, all right, cool. I guess I'll skip it. And then you told me to, and so I haven't installed, but I still need to boot it up.
Because it's a murder mystery. There is this for Pentiment. There's actually the game does not canonically tell you who the murderer is. You just have to make guesses, which I'm like, yes, I love that freedom. I love like you better be making the right accusation. This person really must be guilty because their fate is in your hands.
Let alone the conversations that can spring from it afterwards of talking to your friends about what they did.
Like Murder on Eridanos does have like a direct path, but there are different ways to get to it. And so that's what got me kind of like, as soon as I was like, oh yeah, that's right, this murder mystery. This is the last time they kind of tackled or they did a little something murder mystery.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really excited to dive into this game.
Obsidian knows how to write. Like they got really good writers over there. Like whenever I think of even like Outer Worlds, right? Like, that was one of the things I love the most about that game is like, oh man, these characters are awesome. I love my companions. Like this has very good quests, very good threads in terms of what you're doing. And yeah, like this, it has me very excited for them to play this game by them. That is smaller, more focused, and something super unique. And so very much looking forward to checking this out on my Steam Deck also, because I tweeted out. Lucy James in Skill Up said like this game, and Jake Decker said this game works great on the Steam Deck. So
yes,
yeah.
Okay, that's good news. That's always good. That's always good. But if you want to play those games on Game Pass, guess what? Good news. Number 5, Pentiment and Somerville are coming to Game Pass. This is Wario64 on Twitter. Today on Game Pass, you're getting Pentiment and Somerville. On the 17th, you're getting Dune, Spice Wars, Ghost Lore, Lapin, Norco, which is another one that popped up on the Game Awards yesterday for games with impact. And I was like, or no, narrative? I forget which one.
Maybe Indie?
Indie, whatever. It was one that
one of those.
The reason I named those is because those are the Greg Miller categories. And I was like, I don't even know what this game is. And you guys were talking about Waypoint talking about it. Then on the 22nd, you're getting Gungrave Gore. The 29th, you're getting Insurgency Sandstorm and Soccer Story, which is another game that popped up today that I'm sure you're freaking out about.
Blessing type game. I was like, wait a second, what the fuck is Soccer Story? And I looked it up and I was like, oh, this looks really cool.
And then November 30th, Warhammer 40K Dark Tide.
There we go.
which I really liked at Summer Game Fest.
I dug it too. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing streams with that because I think that'll be a lot of fun of 4 players running around shooting stuff, class-based, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Another great month for Xbox Game Pass.
The best value in gaming.
Honestly, though, nothing's competing with this this thing. I love it to pieces.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Emily,
yes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
Go
you
get
for
ready for
having
your
me.
stream, your special. Yeah, we're excited for that.
I'm super excited. Thank you.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your final guest of the day. No, I'm live. There's more. Adam Sessler. Adam Sessler's coming. Adam! Yay!
This is really nice.
Right? It's not too shabby. It's not too shabby
This
of a
is
place.
I remember, I think last time we did this together, you weren't there.
I was not, no.
And it was in a house.
Yeah.
It was 2015.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was on the road with the Kickstarter for Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
And
lifetime ago.
and the horror movie with the boobies that I was in.
Yep.
Nice
and
to meet
now
you.
I'm here. Yeah, we've chatted on the social media.
Yes.
I'm Adam.
I'm Blessing.
All right, Blessing.
You seem pretty cool.
Oh. Thanks, Mom.
Number 6 on the Roper Report. Xbox is banning a bunch of bots. This is John Fignas over at Engadget. If you've had to deal with a rash of fake Xbox Live accounts in recent times, you're far from alone. Microsoft has published its first ever Xbox Transparency Report, and it's now clear the company is banning or otherwise cracking down on bots. The company says it has issued over 4.33 million proactive enforcements that is taking action without user reports against fake and compromised accounts in the first half of 2022. That represented 57% of the enforcement actions over the 6-month span and a 9-fold surge in the amount of proactive efforts versus the same period a year ago. Microsoft was previously pouring most of its energy into reactive enforcement, responses to gamer reports, and taking fewer actions as a whole. The company issued 2.24 million reactive enforcements in the second half of 2021, and then just 461,000 proactive measures. Other violations were relatively few and far between. Adult content led to just 199,000 proactive enforcements, while fraud, harassment, and other abuses each had fewer than 100,000 actions. Harassment and fraud and abuse, only 100,000 actions?
Wow.
We got to report more, folks.
Wait.
Gamers historically are pretty
What
chill.
exactly are the adult?
It's in quotes.
Content?
Adult content. I would assume you're
we know what that
run-of-the-mill
is.
dick pics.
I would think that. Maybe like the sex bots.
Like
sure,
back in the
sure.
old Uno days.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was
never forget. Let's forget the Uno days on Xbox.
That's a
Live.
way to connect.
Yeah, that one. Oh, yeah,
It's a pun, kids.
Whoa.
It's an Xbox pun.
I won't surprise you to hear that most Microsoft's 33.08 million user-prompted crackdowns focused on toxic players. Enforcement was equally dominated by reports of cheating and other poor conduct, 43%, and abusive communication, 46%. Just 11% of enforcements were tied to user-made content like offensive nicknames and screenshots. Thankfully, there appear to be fewer overall incidents. Microsoft received just shy of 60 million reports in the last half of 2020. 60 million in 2020. Don't count on winning an appeal if you think Microsoft made a mistake. Out of more than 151,000 case appeals during the period, just 6% led to reinstatements. You can expect a new Xbox Transparency Report every 6 months from now onward.
But I didn't mean it when I said it.
Listen, it was a joke. I was quoting a show.
Just commenting out loud.
Yeah.
Just commenting. We'll have your free speech.
Oh, we're banning free speech on Xbox now, I see. Overturn it. Overturn it.
Can we go back to the bots part?
With pleasure.
Okay, because I know Danny was just up here, and he was saying, we're actually on the anniversary of Xbox Live.
Yeah.
And I remember those days. I had a little bit of hair and dewy hope still in my eyes. But like that was just a means by which you played with other people online.
Yeah.
Like I still use Xbox Live, but I wasn't aware that it had enough of an environment that like bots were running around.
Oh, sure.
People.
Yeah.
They're out there trying to get your credit card information, Xbox Live support, give me your mother's maiden name, security things. So
There was a year. I play a lot more on PlayStation compared to Xbox, but there was like a year on PlayStation. Maybe like it was like a half year. Maybe it's still happening. I don't know. But there was a period where I was getting hella bot messages where it is. Hey, and it was the sex box, right? They were like, hey, like, hey cutie, comma, I see you're playing XYZ, like you want to play with me or whatever. Like I got a lot of messages along those lines, and it was always the thing of, yeah, they're trying to get your credit card, they're trying to get some kind of information so they can steal your identity. It's a big problem.
I think I have to acknowledge something. I'm not that popular on Xbox Live.
You weren't getting the cutie messages.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's happened to me on Twitter. And it's alarming.
Yeah.
Especially like when your significant other is like 5 feet away, and it's like, I didn't invite.
I don't know who this is. How to do this.
She showed up on the
I've
doorstep.
never met this cutie. I've never met this
song.
cutie. Yeah.
No, I didn't know you could spell it with an I. Yeah, just let your imagination run.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have had nothing of the sort happen.
Well,
to me.
Xbox is making sure you won't ever have it, so don't worry about it.
And props to them for actually doing the transparency thing, because like, if Twitter had done the transparency thing, who knows how much fun we wouldn't have had last week.
I know, right?
That's all I can say.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to you for Xbox not being Twitter, but yeah, I'm happy to see him do it. I'm happy to see him commit to doing it more. But yeah. Of course, ban people.
I need T-Mobile to do this because like.
Is that what you're checking? You're checking your spam messages here?
I don't know how widespread this is. Every single day, I'm getting a text from just a random number that's like, hey, the one I got yesterday was, hi, I'm Anna. Are you my date on the dating site? Here's my picture. Did you see it? And then like 10 minutes later, are you busy now? Question mark. And then 10 minutes later, still there? Question mark. And I'm like, what the fuck? How these bots are evolving? They're getting a lot more.
Talk to it.
Aggressive. No, I'm not going to talk because then they're going to know this number works.
Sure.
Right? That's how it works, right? Like if I respond, they're gonna be like,
see, I don't get this. I do get some telemarketing that's clearly designed for my father.
Yeah, of course.
Which is really
alarming. This is a policeman's foundation, and we need a donation.
Or it's like, your Social Security is going away. And I'm like, I'm a Gen Xer. I never thought I had it. And
been saying that for years.
The worst I ever had. I had a cold call from a cemetery wanting to know if I had made arrangements. And when, and
that's a different bracket of age.
Yeah, I know. And it was just, I was like, what? No. And I'm like, I think maybe, but like you mean one of my parents, and that's still really creepy.
But
and they're like,
Adam?
well, you never can do it early enough. And I'm like, do you do that? What list did they buy? What am I subscribed to? Like U.S. News and World Report,
Reader's Digest.
Clearly on the cusp.
Reader's Digest, that's the one that gets you every time. Yeah.
That's a good one.
They still making Reader's Digest? That was a big thing at Grandma Miller's house.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if they still... Highlights for children still exist.
That's excellent.
I was asking about it one time on the social media, and the Highlights account reached out to say, yes, we are still here. And I didn't even know what to do with that. So
that's great news.
I always thought that was kind of like the stepping stone to Reader's Digest.
Sure, of course. That was excited when you were in the pediatrician's office, though, and you saw Highlights magazine.
I wouldn't say excited. It's what they had. And it was only at the dentist's.
Oh, yeah. It had to be a medical profession to get a Highlights magazine. I digress. Number 7. You're going to be getting the Witcher 3's next-gen update very soon. The Witcher tweeted out yesterday, the next-gen update for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is coming December 14th. December 14th, free for everyone who already owns the game. For more details in the gameplay review, tune into Red Streams next week on twitch.tv/CD Projekt Red. Are you going to go back to be Geralt of Rivia?
I've already done it 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, Emily, who was just on, I think like when they released Skyrim for the links, I think she got the copy.
She had to go do that.
And she didn't even have a link.
Fridge. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna end up playing. All I want them to do is get out of refurbished or the refurbished Witcher 1.
Yeah.
Because I keep on thinking, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get through Witcher 1 and transfer the saves like I've never been able to do, and then I start playing Witcher 1. I'm like, nah. Like you know what? That cemetery is going to call me, and I'm like, yeah, it's time. It's time. Let's do it.
Yeah. The Witcher 1, I'm looking forward to that one, too, because, going back and trying to replay those, you're dealing with some archaic stuff there.
Yeah. Even Witcher 3, I feel like going back and replaying after, 7 years, there's some stuff there in terms of how it controls that doesn't age as well.
Well, also, the last time I went back to play it, I was trying to just get everything and upgrade everything, and I kind of forgot that, it actually costs to upgrade all your weapons.
Yep.
And I was upgrading weapons I didn't use, so I just thought it was cool. And then suddenly I was just flat broke.
Yep.
And I'm halfway through, and I'm like, oh, Oh, wow. There's a lot of grinding.
I made a mistake here. Yeah. I made a mistake. Bless and I have been talking about coming back for the next.
What's the
update.
temperature check right now? Now that we have a release date.
I'm not against it. That'll be close to holiday break, right? Or we'll be on the other side. We'll be on the other side of Callisto Protocol, like.
And that's like what the next big title coming out after that period.
Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, like Dead Space.
No, but that's before it.
Oh, you're right. You're right. That's before.
Yeah. So after December 14th, we're talking about what Dead Space and Forspoken coming out late January.
Yeah.
That's like a month period. That's a good amount of time.
Are we trying to beat it? Who knows? You know what I mean?
I was about to say, I don't think you could do Witcher 3 and the DLC, like Blood and Wine.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. I didn't play
it. In like a month.
Oh, it's so good.
In a month where it's probably the only game you're going to be focused on. And this is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping I can transfer my save because I don't want to start from the beginning. If I can transfer my save and just pick up from where I left off, oh yeah, I'm going to finally finish The Witcher 3.
Well, then I guess you better tune in.
Oh, man. Oh.
You'll find more out next week on the Red Streams. There you go. That's
Tom
great.
Olney's like, ooh, I like Sessler right now.
You nailed it. Adam, you have more content to do here, but not this show. So go get ready for that and get ready for the stream if the internet works or maybe
I'm
it's
going
the
to go wipe
video.
my bum.
Okay, sure. We're working
for it.
on getting bidets. Don't worry.
Oh, wait, that wasn't a bidet? Hope you don't brush your teeth.
God damn it, Adam.
Pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, say goodbye to Adam and welcome in Jake Bennett. Come on, Jake. Woo! Jake is here to close out the Roper Report with the 8th and final story. Rockstar has reportedly turned down Eminem for a GTA movie. This is Jordan Midler over at VGC. Rockstar Games reportedly once turned down a GTA movie starring Eminem, which would have been directed by Top Gun director Tony Scott. I'll stop here already and say, what the fuck? Why would you turn this down?
Well, I'll tell you why. I don't think Eminem's the right guy.
Fuck
How
off, Jake.
dare you?
You know what I mean?
Did you not watch 8 Mile?
I did. Eminem already did it. He did 8 Mile. That was his GTA. Give me 50 Cent. 50 Cent's at least been shot 9
Why
times.
not both?
Blood on the sand. Blood on the sand.
I'm sure. Why not
we've
both?
had GTA
but
games
like, give me
featuring multiple
someone who's
protagonists.
been about that life a little bit. You know what I
You
mean?
don't think Eminem's been about that life?
I mean,
How high did your voice
know.
just get there? I've never heard you go to that register before.
I mean, he's about part of the life.
According to Kirk, Irwin. What?
Ewing.
Thank you. God damn it. I knew I had it. I Patrick Ewing. I saw it earlier, but then I got so thrown off with the high pitched voice. Kurt Ewing, an agent and co-founder of virtual avatar app VMe. Fucking Jesus. A late night conversation with former Rockstar boss Sam Houser almost led to the multi-time Grammy-winning rapper starring in a film based on the franchise. Speaking on Bugsy Malone's Grandest Game podcast, Ewing recalled, quote, because of the relationship that I had with Rockstar and I had with Sam, I actually tracked him down to his hotel room one night where I knew he was going to be staying for a while. And the two of us stayed up late and talked about the possibility of making a film. This was just after Grand Theft Auto 3, and I think at that point, it was still in Sam's mind that it might be something he wanted to do. He continued, I remember taking a call at about 4 a.m. from one of the producers in LA with an offer to make a film, and he said, Kirk, we've got Eminem to star, and it's a Tony Scott film, $5 million on the nose. Are you interested? And I phoned up Sam and said, look, you need to listen to this. They want Eminem in the Grand Theft Auto movie and Tony Scott to direct. And he said, not interested. At that point, they withdrew from the conversation about making a film when they realized the media franchise that they had was bigger than any movie that was going to be on at the time, end quote. While rumors have persisted over the years about a potential Grand Theft Auto movie, nothing has ever come to fruition.
This is a wild story that I don't know how much I
Every
believe.
paragraph got better of the co-founder of virtual avatar app VMe, and then we're on Bugsy Malone's Grandest Game podcast. I'm like, all right.
It's the fact that it reads like almost like a Family Guy story, like a Family Guy bit of like, oh yeah, and I phoned up Sam and I went, look, you need to listen to this. They want Eminem in the Grand Theft Auto movie and Tony Scott to direct. That sounds like it's taken straight out of like a sitcom or something.
Yeah, or like someone filled out a Mad Lib is a little bit like, or it's like, oh, pick a musical artist, pick a video game, pick a director. You know, like that's how it feels a little bit. But like, I don't know. I mean, Eminem, sure. But like I said, you know, I want someone who has that experience. You know, like I said, like give me a 50 Cent, give me a Lil Wayne did time in Rikers. Like he has the experience.
That's fair.
You know,
what is great about this is that it's a snapshot in time of I think the closest you ever got to it and would get to it. Where I do think that like this is the point where Grand Theft Auto 3 is out. All right, cool, and clearly it's changed video games and we're all in it. And we're all obsessed with it. But Grand Theft Auto isn't the we made $1 billion by blinking. You know what I mean? We're selling this game without doing anything. We've put out Grand Theft Auto 5 19 times.
I don't think it's a movie though.
And that's
it's a series.
That's my thing. Where I think at this point it's like it's its own thing.
Right.
And I think you know Rockstar still feels that way and looks at it that way, and what is the benefit of doing a movie that'll probably be mediocre, right? That probably wouldn't reach any of the heights they tried to hit in the games.
Yeah, like right now, this would for sure wouldn't happen, right? Because like Grand Theft Auto is already one of the highest profiting just entertainment franchises, period. Right? You don't need movies, you don't need any other I guess like adaptations to really give it that value, because the value is there. Just make GTA 6 and put that out, or add more shit to your multiplayer, and that's gonna make you probably equivocal money than you would putting out a movie or something along those lines. This is the only time that this would have happened, right? Is like, okay, you're fresh off of GTA 3, Grand Theft Auto is now Grand Theft Auto, but like, there's still an even brighter future ahead of it. Hey, like, we have this thing on our hands. What if we made it into a billion different things? I'm so curious on what that timeline would have looked like if Sam Houser was like, yes, get Eminem at the height of his career, by the way, because we're talking about what, like early 2000s, like 2000, let's say 3 to 5.
Yeah, you're talking like Eminem show,
Marshall Mathers LP. You're talking about him coming off of 8 Mile and putting out Lose Yourself. You're talking about a man that's on top of the world,
at the peak.
Yeah, who's about to go into rehab.
Yeah,
so maybe they dodged a bullet.
So maybe that's the reason. Maybe
that would have given the experience Jake wanted. That would have been the experience he needed for it.
Yeah, it would have been more visceral. I would have, really
bless Jake. I'm excited to one day see a Grand Theft Auto movie, even though it might never happen. Maybe it would happen, but if it is going to happen, we're going to have to wait forever. Bless, if I wanted to know something that was happening right now, where would I go?
You would go to the official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today, ladies and gentlemen, is Floodland on PC, Pentiment on all the Xboxes and PC, Smurfs Card on Switch, Somerville on all the Xboxes and PC, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge on PlayStation 5, Yeez 8 Macross of Dana on PlayStation 5. I just power through it.
Lacrimosa.
Arcane Waters Early Access on PC, Zero Servient Early Access on PC, Bravery and Greed on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, The Ballad of Hongye on PC, Ruby, Arrowfell on PC, all the PlayStation, Switch, all the Xboxes, Bendy and the Dark Revival on PC.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. Say that one.
Ixion is what did you say? How would you go with that?
I don't know. It's not my job.
Ixion on PC. Fuck you. TMNT is back on the PS5. Wreckfest is on mobile. We Who Are About to Die on PC. Bound by Blades on PC. Multiverses Season 2 begins today with a new battle pass.
Fuck, this Smurfs card game actually looks kind of good.
We're showing
when you read through it, I was like, all right, we've gone too far. Do we need to give the Smurfs a kart racer?
There were 3 people dedicated to getting the physics on that hat right. There were 3 people who were like, no, the hat's not flapping in the wind enough. We need more.
I'll play this for exactly half of a Kinda Funny stream.
Damn, that's impressive. That's a long time for us. Yeah, I like where your head's at on that.
Hour and a half.
New dates for you, ladies and gentlemen. God is real. Marvel's Avengers Update 2.7, which includes our new hero, the Winter Soldier, an Omega level threat, Ames Cloning Lab. The content Fran Mirabella accidentally played in 2020 is actually happening. It is arriving November 29th. Guerrilla Games has confirmed the upcoming virtual reality game Horizon Call of the Mountain will be released on February 22nd as PlayStation VR 2's launch title, one of PlayStation VR 2's launch titles. And then Soccer Story Power Slides onto PC Game Pass consoles. And we guess not Stadia on November 29th.
That was in their email.
That's what they wrote?
That's what they wrote.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That's fucking funny. Okay, good on them. Good on them. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Kinda Funny Games Daily. Usually we would do You're Wrong, but as you know, we are having an internet issue. So I don't know. We're just going to assume we were right about everything today. And if not, tweet all your corrections to Jake.
Yeah. You don't have Comcast internet, do you?
No, that'd be weird, right? That'd be a little too convenient if you asked me. That'd be a little too convenient if we did. No, we just have bad luck. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. Tomorrow, your host will be Blessing and Tim. Thursday, it'll be Blessing and Greg. That's me. Friday, it will be Tim and Blessing. If you are watching live right now, that's impossible, I think. But guess what? We're about to do that G4 reunion stream. You can get it on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. If the stream isn't working and isn't going, we're just going to record it and post it on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. So it's there for you no matter what, and you can go enjoy it.
Multiple times.
What can they expect, Jake? What can they expect?
I don't know. I don't know what I can expect. Honestly, it's
hard to believe you guys got canceled.
It really is, isn't it? It really is. We were, selling magazines door to door, candy bars outside of grocery stores, everything we could do. But here we are. So
I'm excited to see whatever you guys come up with.
It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun. Yeah, it's always fun. At least when we get to cut loose and just play around. And we thank you guys so much for letting us come in.
Oh, please, it's our pleasure.
It's great to say goodbye.
Yeah, for sure. Right, and actually get to say goodbye, which is a big part of it. Check that out, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube.com/KindaFunnyGames. Of course, check out Patreon.com/KindaFunny to keep the lights and mics on. Get those 38 bonus episodes of content. Get every show ad free. Get to watch me do the Kinda Funny podcast and be weird today. Bless.
I'm so scared of whatever's about to happen.
You should be. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been our pleasure to serve you.